to Earn program, a transformative initiative by Actuate Biomedicine. This program is designed to tackle the pressing environmental challenges faced by communities, especially in Kenya. Our 8-week program combines 2 physical classes and 6 online classes, offered every 2 months. We educate and empower participants by incentivizing their active involvement with Actuate tokens. Our diverse group includes university students and global environmental health community members, creating a dynamic and inclusive learning environment. Communities worldwide face severe issues such as pollution, inadequate access to clean water, and a lack of environmental awareness. These problems lead to pollution from industrial emissions and improper waste disposal, lack of safe drinking water, causing waterborne diseases like cholera and dysentery, unsustainable practices and habitat destruction due to insufficient environmental consciousness. Our program aims to address these issues through 4 main goals: educating participants on the importance of environmental health, building a cohesive global community of environmental activists, promoting sustainable practices at individual, family, and community levels, facilitating practical engagement through activities like tree planting. For individuals, particularly mothers and fathers, environmental health is crucial. It ensures clean air, safe water, and healthy living conditions, essential for maternal health and child development. Families benefit from cleaner surroundings that reduce disease incidence and promote healthier living conditions. A healthy environment supports better pregnancy outcomes and child development. Communities experience improved quality of life and reduced healthcare costs through sustainable practices. Engaging in environmental health fosters collective responsibility and sustainable living. At a national level, a healthy environment supports economic growth by minimizing healthcare expenses and increasing productivity. Eco-health practices strengthen national resilience, ensuring food security and biodiversity preservation. The Environmental Health Learn to Earn program by Actuate Biomedicine is more than just education. It's a movement. By promoting sustainable practices and a comprehensive understanding of environmental issues, we create a ripple effect of positive change, leading to healthier individuals, families, communities, and nations. Join us in fostering a sustainable future. Together, we can make a difference. Welcome to the Environmental Health Learn to Earn program, a transformative initiative by Actuate Biomedicine. This program is designed to tackle the pressing environmental challenges faced by communities, especially in Kenya. Our 8-week program combines 2 physical classes and 6 online classes, offered every 2 months. We educate and empower participants by incentivizing their active involvement with Actuate tokens. Our diverse group includes university students and global environmental health community members, creating a dynamic and inclusive learning environment. Communities worldwide face severe issues such as pollution, inadequate access to clean water, and a lack of environmental awareness. These problems lead to pollution from industrial emissions and improper waste disposal, lack of safe drinking water, causing waterborne diseases like cholera and dysentery, unsustainable practices and habitat destruction due to insufficient environmental consciousness. Our program aims to address these issues through 4 main goals: educating participants on the importance of environmental health, building a cohesive global community of environmental activists, promoting sustainable practices at individual, family, and community levels, facilitating practical engagement through activities like tree planting. For individuals, particularly mothers and fathers, environmental health is crucial. It ensures clean air, safe water, and healthy living conditions, essential for maternal health and child development. Families benefit from cleaner surroundings that reduce disease incidence and promote healthier living conditions. A healthy environment supports better pregnancy outcomes and child development. Communities experience improved quality of life and reduced healthcare costs through sustainable practices. Engaging in environmental health fosters collective responsibility and sustainable living. At a national level, a healthy environment supports economic growth by minimizing healthcare expenses and increasing productivity. Eco-health practices strengthen national resilience, ensuring food security and biodiversity preservation. The Environmental Health Learn to Earn program by Actuate Biomedicine is more than just education. It's a movement. By promoting sustainable practices and a comprehensive understanding of environmental issues, we create a ripple effect of positive change, leading to healthier individuals, families, communities, and nations. Join us in fostering a sustainable future. Together, we can make a difference. Welcome to the Environmental Health Learn to Earn program, a transformative initiative by Actuate Biomedicine. This program is designed to tackle the pressing environmental challenges faced by communities, especially in Kenya. Our 8-week program combines 2 physical classes and 6 online classes, offered every 2 months. We educate and empower participants by incentivizing their active involvement with Actuate tokens. Our diverse group includes university students and global environmental health community members, creating a dynamic and inclusive learning environment. Communities worldwide face severe issues such as pollution, inadequate access to clean water, and a lack of environmental awareness. These problems lead to pollution from industrial emissions and improper waste disposal, lack of safe drinking water, causing waterborne diseases like cholera and dysentery, unsustainable practices and habitat destruction due to insufficient environmental consciousness. Our program aims to address these issues through 4 main goals: educating participants on the importance of environmental health, building a cohesive global community of environmental activists, promoting sustainable practices at individual, family, and community levels, facilitating practical engagement through activities like tree planting. For individuals, particularly mothers and fathers, environmental health is crucial. It ensures clean air, safe water, and healthy living conditions, essential for maternal health and child development. Families benefit from cleaner surroundings that reduce disease incidence and promote healthier living conditions. A healthy environment supports better pregnancy outcomes and child development. Communities experience improved quality of life and reduced healthcare costs through sustainable practices. Engaging in environmental health fosters collective responsibility and sustainable living. At a national level, a healthy environment supports economic growth by minimizing healthcare expenses.
Hello, Frida.
Hello.
Oh, yes, let's get started.
Yeah, Linda is here. Linda, can we start?
Yes, just give me a minute. I make sure the topic master is in the class because I told him to enter a long time ago.
So today, what is the topic today? Today I had a point without saying Boston, so I've not looked at a lot of things.
Today's topic is engaging community members in quadratic funding
Community engagement. Okay.
campaign. Yeah, how to get community engagement. Yeah, engaging community members in quadratic funding campaign. And the topic master is on.
So you say he's on. Get started.
That's why I tell them to join 10 minutes early.
Community engagement. Okay. So
we shall just get started as he enters as well.
yes,
So I would like to welcome everybody to our seventh session of our second cohort, in which we have been unpacking quadratic funding. We appreciate your commitment and your dedication to learning. So once again, good evening, everyone. Today's topic is engaging community members in quadratic funding campaign. As we have been unpacking this past 6 weeks, quadratic funding is more so a revolutionary model that maximizes the impact of community contributions by matching funds based on the number of individual donors rather than the amount donated. This has been repeated multiple times. I hope we've all understood the concept so far. So this approach is meant to empower communities by ensuring that small contributions from many people can significantly influence funding decisions. So therefore, in this session, we'll be exploring how to effectively engage community members, encouraging them for participation and leveraging quadratic funding to support environmental initiatives. So this topic will be presented by Mohammed Amis, and then followed by insights and comments by our CEO, Dr. Machari. After that, we shall be having an open floor for questions where anyone can ask whatever questions they feel they are in the dark about, and it shall be answered. And then this can be done through audio or chat if you're not able to speak wherever you are. And then later we shall be having summit announcements by Augustine on the progress of our summit that we are having in December. And we shall be ending the class with our attendance form as usual, in which we post in the chat room, in the chat box for token allocation. So I guess we shall be starting our topic for today.
okay. Is the topic master in? We're still waiting for him.
He's saying that it's taking long to load.
Okay, that's okay. We can be talking about community itself before it loads, so we can come and talk to us about engaging community. So I think the first thing is to understand what is community. I think that whole thing about understanding community is very complicated. Although community, you can say a community, and then you say community seems like an easy thing, or you could say an easy phenomenon. Let's say community is made of families of different people together with their own families in homesteads. So different families, different homes, they come together and form a community. But that's not the end of it. Different families, each family is formed of individuals. Because in the individual, there's a mother, a father, and then the children. So that's at the individual level. So what is very difficult to understand, particularly when implementing community health problem, what's so difficult to comprehend, or to grasp, is the idea of how to engage the community. Because community itself, you could say, is not apprehensible. You have to engage individuals in the community. See? So because I think when you come from community, it's top-down idea. Coming from the top, you have the communities at a level like three degrees higher than the individual in the community. So it means that a community is individuals who have got common purpose or common goal. They're working on something similar. They are related issues. They are working on a related issue. And that's what makes a community. A community is a group of people, a group of individuals who are working on a common purpose. So, and if one does not define that, then you try to engage communities and you find you're not getting through. It's because you have to think about the individuals in that group. And how do those individuals create meaning in their own life? And only then you would be able to engage them at the level at which the individual exists and how he creates meaning, how he creates purpose. So they have a common purpose. So, yeah. So when you're thinking about community engagement for our quadratic funding program for environmental health, we first of all have to answer the questions: what is the common purpose of the individuals we are talking about, so that we can gather them together to form a community. That is usually the hardest part. What's the common purpose? What makes them tick? What moves them? And so that they can be responsive to participate in quadratic funding. Yeah. So, and to understand that, you'd probably need to know how individuals in that community create meaning. What makes sense for them? Does this make sense? If it doesn't make sense, they will not participate. And as Linda has told us, in quadratic funding, a small contribution from a large number of people. Large number of people, large number of individuals, that's what's called community. So how do you get a large number of people contributing small quantities of money? That's usually very, very hard. That is why in the traditional financing system, people, instead of saying, let us mobilize a large number of individuals, they would rather get one donor who has a lot of money to do a project. But see, the problem with getting money from one donor, that one donor who has a lot of money eventually dictates what you do with the money. So because he's dictating what you're going to do with the money, he's donating the money to serve his own needs, but not to serve the needs of the community. So basically, what you're saying about getting individuals in the community to participate, you have to understand their needs. Because just like the big donor, who is a philanthropist donating a lot of money, if he gives you money, it gives you, say, 1 million shillings, he's not going to allow you to use the money the way you want. He is going to give you a term sheet, tell you, listen, this is how I would like you to invest the money, to put the money, so that because the money has got his name. So he who has the money makes the decisions. And so quadratic funding makes that go away, because it means that he makes the decision about the needs of people, but they're not needs of the people. Those type of needs that he would be responding to, the needs that are seen upon, are perceived by a big donor, they are known as normative needs. They're known as normative needs because those are needs he's looking at from literature made by epidemiologist, scientist, saying that this is what these people need. So he's doing literature review, and he's now conjuring up a story about what people need. Those needs are known as normative needs that are published in the documents. So for example, the needs that we try to fund with money from large organizations like the World Health Organization are not real needs of the people. They're normative needs. What's the difference between normative need? The person on the ground has got very basic needs like shelter, food, and transportation, but not the need that can be determined by somebody sitting in Geneva, Switzerland, or maybe New York, United Nations, the Office of the Environmental Program or Children Foundation. No, those are normative needs. Now, there are needs that the needs for the person are real need, the real need on the ground. So talking to the individuals themselves is when you're able to identify the real needs, the real needs. So when you identify real needs, so I'm telling you needs, when people are doing needs assessment, they can come up with a solution with a report on needs assessment, which are normative needs, but those are not real needs. Those are not the things that people need in the community. So in order for you to understand the real needs, you have to work with each individual. Now, in the terms of financing or funding programs, traditional funding was based on normative need. And that's why a lot of projects that are funded do not work. They don't work, and it's because the needs that they get are normative needs, and implementing solutions against those needs, it's an adventure in missing the point. That the point is somewhere else because people don't really need it. And that's why those projects really do not work in the long term. But quadratic funding gives us the opportunity for funding real needs because the individuals are able to participate in the funding, for providing funding, small donations from a lot of people, individuals. And then those individuals, once they have donated that money, they participate in making decisions about how that funding is going to be allocated, the funding allocation. So that quadratic funding, we have talked about this many times. So that's what it's all about. So what's the term community today should indicate for us the distinction between real needs and normative needs. Okay, the normative need is what traditional finance people fund. Real needs are left unfunded. Real needs is only possible to fund real needs through a decentralized financing program because real needs are decentralized. You cannot know them until you speak to individuals. You cannot know them by reading literature review, by reading reports from large libraries like the United Nations, the World Bank. No, you cannot know the real needs that way. You get to know the real needs. But see, these guys in the traditional finance, which call dismal scientists and economists, they are going to come up with great arguments. Say, we have done a complete needs assessment. This is what it's all about. And then they propose how you're going to finance the program. They try to force that program through the government. And eventually you find the programs get implemented, but people are still the same or even worse because the real need, the program implementation missed the real needs. Okay, so that is what I would like to say. If when Hassan comes, you can tell me so I can stop rambling. Has he been able to join us? No. So the needs. Okay, what did you say?
I was just checking up on Mohammed. Is not yet able to join.
Okay. So you understand. Let's talk. We're talking about real needs against normative needs. Does that make sense? I hope that everybody understands this. Is that quadratic funding is on the blockchain is the mechanism by which we're now able to identify, for the first time in the history of mankind, we are now able to identify the real needs of humanity. And then because of the blockchain. And why is the blockchain that powerful? Why is it able to identify real needs when it wasn't possible to get to understand real needs before? Why is it possible? Anybody? Who knows why? What has happened? Let me ask in French. Pourquoi? Pourquoi is why? Why has that happened? Why is it that this has happened? Anyone? Why has it? What is it in the blockchain that has made that possible. I think we can open this up and make an open discussion conversation to me, because it's very important that everybody here understands what's going on. I think it's very, very important that we all understand what's going on. Because what is going on is what is happening with what people are calling Gen Z movement in Kenya. What has happened? Now let's take an example of what Gen Z movement has had in this protest you've had by knocking off the finance bill when it's already on the way. What has taken place? And you see, if we now understand that, we're going to see how that power that power will come to fundraising in the community. The same movement. Anyone? We have talked about this last week, but I think we didn't finish all this stuff. Not last week in environmental health. We talked about it in biomedical research translation. So Frida, do tell us the secret. What has happened? Because I think it's important for all of us to understand the theoretical foundation, the theoretical underpinning, the theory underpinning this movement that you have seen causing the Gen Zs to get the parliament, the president of Kenya, to withdraw the finance bill. What is that? You could not have done that 15 years ago, even if you were Gen Z at that time. So what has happened? Anyone who wants to tell us? This is for the theoretical perspective, which we started talking about last week in the BI, the STEM translation. Who's speaking? Okay, somebody is speaking. I don't know who it is.
Oh, sorry, Doc. Mohammed has entered and he was ready to present.
Okay, we shall give this question later on. Keep that question in mind. The theoretical model. Mohammed, welcome.
Okay, Mohammed, welcome and start your presentation, please. Can you hear me? Hello, Mohammed. You're not muted, so I don't know why you're not able to talk. Please check on your side and unmute. If you have a problem, please let us.
Well, maybe his microphone is not picking the sound, but it's not muted by Zoom.
He's saying his network is very slow today.
No, I think
we can just go back to the question you were asking.
Yes. So I'll explain to you again, because we talked about this in STEM the other week, but I think it also applies in environmental science. What has happened, ladies and gentlemen, is the advent of new mathematics. So what brought down Ruto is not Gen Z per se, it is mathematics. See? Because all that stuff that was going on before, the governance, the systems, they were built on old math. That old math is known as arithmetic by Aristotle and algebra way back when. Those are way centuries old mathematics. And I can tell you, the nations, governments are built, these nations, governments and people like that. And the economics, finance, budgets, national budgets, they are all built on old math, which is mathematics of, the quadratic funding itself is a mathematical equation. It's an algebra, but quadratic funding has come when? It's now quadratic math. quadratic equation or the new math is not the old math anymore. And this new math is known as information mathematics theory of communication. I explained that the other day. Mathematics theory of communication. That mathematics theory of communication has been working its way over the past how many? Maybe almost 80 years now, because Shannon, just here in Massachusetts at MIT, wrote the first document known as Mathematics Theory of Communication in 1948. But that was after some work with some guys in Bletchley Park, England, who had come with the theories, but then they didn't complete them. The mathematics theory of communication today is the mathematics that is driving the information network. What befell upon Mr. Ruto, because maybe he's not aware of, is the mathematics theory of communication, and there's nothing you can do to change that. Let me tell you what was going on before. With this mathematics, the old math was the conversations were one direction where the president says something and everybody does it. Okay. Before even Ruto came around, we had the communication system was the Voice of Kenya. So you used to get a broadcast from the VOK, but you could never broadcast back to the VOK. So you consumed whatever the broadcasting station gave you. And that was that. Okay? So there was nothing you could say. So you could see that in the old times, you could say that that's only about 20 years ago, that we had only one source of the information, and the information was from top down. That means from up there to the people. The people could never talk back. So all this time, the information theory of communication, mathematics theory is working its way. And this mathematics theory of communication, instead of it being algebra or even arithmetic, like addition you have in traditional accounting, the information theory of communication, mathematics theory, is mathematics of logic. It's computer science. So logic gave us the internet after about 30 years from.
Hello.
Oh yes, are you now with us?
Yes, I'm ready.
Well, Mohammed, we are going to continue this conversation. Just tell us about community needs.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'm sorry for the interruption. I normally face network problem at my home.
Don't
The
worry,
Kwale,
man. We are
the
patient.
area, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
in the part of Kwale. So kindly bear me. Apologies, please. So the topic of today,
Mm-hmm.
I was given topic 5 of the QF, and the topics start with the strategies for community engagement, and maximizing participation in quadratic funding campaigns. So I broke down this title into smaller subtopic where I have some introduction, and we have the normal definition of QF, is a funding mechanism where the amount a project receives is based on the number of contributors and their individual contributions. So emphasizes broader community support rather than large contribution from a few individuals. Uh, it, this originated from the concept of quadratic voting introduced by Glenn Weil and Eric Posner. So gain popularity through applications like cryptocurrencies in the blockchain open source community. And the importance of this QF, we earlier said that it promotes equitable distribution of funds, and we also say that it encourages grassroots participation and support. It also amplifies the impact of small contribution through matching funds. So, understanding community engagement. Definition and importance of this community engagement. Community engagement involves active participation and collaboration with community members in decision-making processes. So decision-making needs the collaboration and participation of all the stakeholders, and that is mostly the community members. So by bringing these stakeholders or the community together, we have the good or the high standards of decision that are being formed. So it is very essential for the success of QF or quadratic funding campaigns as it ensures community buy-in and support. So goals of community engagement. Number one goal, it increases awareness about the campaign. So these campaigns create awareness and it provides education to the members of the community, and it also fosters a sense of ownership and participation. When the community is informed of these campaigns, they also get that sense of responsibility and ownership, and they also mobilize community resources and support. This community engagement practice apart and disinterest. This may lack interest and overcoming skepticism. By not getting the trust of the community or the members of the community. It also very effective communication across diverse community and segments. So strategies for effective community engagement. We have number one strategies. We have the identifying target audiences. So by identifying target audiences, we can conduct demographic research to understand the community composition. We can also identify the key stakeholders and influencers within the communities. So these stakeholders, there are some community members who play a vital role in these campaigns. So by getting their trust and chance to mobilize them, they become very fundamental in our campaigns. We have also the building trust and relationship. So be transparent about goals, process, and outcomes. Regularly update the community and be responsive to feedback. We can also foster long-term relationship rather than one-time interactions. Number three strategies for community engagement. We have the leveraging local influencers. Engage community leaders and respected individuals to endorse and promote the campaign. Collaborate with local organizations and groups that have established trust with the community. So leveraging local influencers, this may be attained by uh, encouraging people like maybe the musicians and the known artists to collaborate in these campaigns. We have also the communication strategies, and these communication strategies, crafting clear messages. We have also crafting or drafting clear messages that can be read and seen. We have also ensure messages are easy to understand and convey the benefit of participating in quadratic funding. We can also use storytelling to make the campaigns relatable and engaging. We can also use multiple channels. The use of mixed online, social media, emails, and offline community meetings, posters, focus group discussions, other channels. We can also tailor these messages for different platforms to maximize and reach and the impact. And these platforms may be some of them can have WhatsApp, we can have Facebook, uh, Instagram, Twitter, etc. So we can also have the interactive engagement. In this interactive engagement, host live questions and answer sessions and webinars to answer community questions. We can use polls, surveys, and feedback forms to gather community input and keep them engaged. We can also encouraging participation in quadratic funding campaigns to number one, education and awareness. Education play a very important role in all sectors of life. So if the community or the members of the community are being educated and given this knowledge, we can have a large number of, of the audiences in these campaigns. So provide educational materials that explain how quadratic funding works and its benefits. Organize workshops and information sessions to educate the community. Incentives for participation. We can also offer matching funds to amplify the impact of contributions. Hello, hope we are together.
Yes,
Okay,
Mr.
thank
Mama.
you.
Mhm.
So incentives for participation, we can also recognize and reward top contributors and active participants. We can also create a leaderboard to showcase active participants. Uh, Encouraging participation also, we can have simplifying the contribution process. So the contribution process, it ensures that the contribution process is user friendly with clear instructions. And this simplification can also ensure that it provides multiple payment options to accommodate different preferences. And this multiple payment options, maybe we have the pay bill and the till, the cash transaction, and the bank account payment. We can also offer assistance and support for those unfamiliar with the process. So we can have some leveraging technologies that can help promote this participations in the QF campaigns. And leveraging technologies, one of them is digital platforms for QF campaigns. By this, we can utilize platforms like Gitcons, Open Collective, or other QF-enabled tools. And also, we can highlight the features of these platforms that facilitate easy contributions and transparency. Number two technology, we have the data analytics. And this data analytics use analytics tools to track participation rates, funding amounts, and community engagement. It also helps to identify trends and patterns to optimize engagement strategies. Online community building. Online community building it creates online forums or social media groups to foster a sense of community, encouraging discussions, share updates, and celebrate milestones. Uh, To this end, I think I exhausted my discussion, and I would like just to share a single case studies and the best practices done under it. So one case study I got is that was one of GitFund grants that uses quadratic funding to support open source projects. Contributors can donate to projects they believe in with the funding matched based on the number of unique donors. So strategies used in this case study: education and awareness. Regularly host webinars and workshops to educate the community on how QF works and its benefits. This was used. And also the technology leveraged, uses utilization platforms, which is user friendly and integrates blockchain technology for transparency. And it also implied incentives, provide matching funds through partnership with the large donors and organizations. So the outcomes of this case study or this program, it ensured that successful funded numerous open source projects. It also increased community participation and engagement with each funding round. So we can draw some lessons from this case study, and number one lesson is that transparency and continuous communication are crucial and important. Engaging with the community through various channels increases participation. So engaging with the community through various channels increases participation. And the best practices, the in this case study, we saw that regularly education or educate and update the community, one of the best practices. Number two, use technology to simplify the funding process and ensure transparency. We have also the concept of monitoring and evaluation and setting metrics. So define clear metrics for success, such as number of contributors, total fund raised, and engagement levels. Use these metrics to evaluate the effectiveness of the campaigns and feedback mechanism. So by this, we can establish channels for community feedbacks, such as surveys and suggestion boxes. We can also act on feedbacks to improve future campaigns and build trust. And we can also ensure that there's continuous improvement and regularly review campaigns, performance, and adjustment strategies as needed. So we can use data and feedbacks to refine engagement and participation tactics. In conclusion, effective monitoring and evaluation involves setting clear metrics. That is, maybe you can say setting clear goals, and this is long. We can say short-term and long-term metrics, and collecting feedback and continuously improving strategies. So both quantitative and qualitative metrics are essential for comprehensive assessment. So feedback mechanisms should be varied and accessible to ensure broad community input. By this study or by this research, I will recommend the following issues. So establish a robust monitoring and evaluation framework at the start of the campaigns, so that we can monitor and evaluate each and every step during the campaign. We can also regularly review metrics and feedback to stay on track, and also use insights gained from the monitoring and evaluation tools to make informed adjustments and enhance future campaigns. For those few remarks, I would like to say thank you and take this opportunity back to Dr. Mashare. Thank you.
Thank you, Mohammed. Thank you so much for lesson. Maybe leader is our presiding officer. Leader Becker, back to you.
Thank you, Mohammed, for the presentation. It was very detailed and clear. I hope everybody is on the same page. If anyone has a question, we shall be opening the floor to any questions. And as we await the questions, I will bring up Dr. Macharia for some comments on the presentation and some added insights. So welcome, Dr. Macharia, to give some insights as we await the questions.
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, how do we leverage this community involvement to quadratic funding?
Um, How do you leverage community involvement? How do you leverage community involvement? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Community involvement. Well, do you want to respond to that, Mr. Mohammed?
Okay, so
Mm.
leveraging the community, we can make sure that this community is engaged. So in these campaigns, we need the interaction and the collaboration of this community. So we can make sure we can say, for us to gain these members of the community, we can create some platforms where we can engage the community. So maybe the land part of the community, we can create them the online forums or online community building. And for maybe for the stakeholders that maybe they're not that well in education, or maybe the interior community, or that community that is not that they didn't maybe they didn't attend the schools. So we can also make some community groups that can interact with these members of the community at household levels. And we can also I also gave the example of data analytics, that we can use analytic tools to track participation rates, funding amount, and community engagement. So identify trends and patterns to optimize engagement strategies. Okay, thank you.
Right. Thank you so much. Thank you, Damien, for the question. Thank you, Mohammed, for the answer. And that's great. Now, Damien, what you're asking about is the word leverage. Leveraging. What is the lever? Leveraging comes from the word lever. The root of leverage is to lever. A lever is a tool that you use to lift something else. Now, Albert Einstein in 1929, he wrote in his book, "If you give me a lever long enough, I will move the earth." So it's just a lever. Lever is all that matters. You can move anything with a long lever. Depending on if you have a very short lever, a lever as you put on a fulcrum, and then you a pivot, I think, then you use it to lift loads. The longer the lever, the bigger the load you're able to lift. And Einstein said, if you give me a lever long enough, I will move the earth. What does that mean? So you're asking about leveraging. Leverage is using a lever. A lever is a tool. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you, we have the lever to reach the people in the community, which we did not have about 30 years ago. We have it right here. That is why I was telling you about the mathematical theory of communication. It is in its full flower, its full blossom, full blossom, full blossom. I say full blossom 3 times so that I can emphasize this, so that all of us have to get it. Now, the lever that has managed to even bring that finance bill from the top in Kenya is known as information mathematics theory of communication. That's the lever. So that's the lever you're talking about. How do you leverage the community? It means that how do you apply a lever to reach individuals in the community? As Mohammed has told us, at the beginning, you have to identify the composition of the community. Composition means who are the members of that community. Members mean individuals, as we started talking. Now, as I explained to you, in previous works based on the old science of mathematics made by economics and epidemiologists, we were not able to get to the level of the individual in the community. So the needs that we identified were normative needs. We never identified real needs. Because why were we not able to identify the real needs of the people in the community? Because we did not have a lever. Now we have a lever that's long enough to reach individuals in the community. And that lever goes on the information platform. The lever we are talking about is the mobile phone. Everybody has got a cell phone. So unlike old days where you could not reach the people in the community directly, except going through their members of parliament, representatives of their MCAs, those are members of council assembly. You could not reach the people. But today you can reach anyone, anywhere, not just the people in the families, every individual in that family, because each family has got a self. Now, according to what data we are getting around here is that Kenya, there is a cell phone in every family. I don't know how true that is, but that's what Statistica is reporting. There's a cell phone in every family. Maybe you can tell us about Tanzania, Mr. Damien. That is the leverage. The tool for leverage is the cell phone. How do you, and see, now instead of talking about leveraging the community, is what tool do you leverage, do you use as a lever to access individuals in the community? That's called a cell phone, a mobile phone. And you see, the mobile phone operates on the new mathematics. The new mathematics is based on the mathematic theory of communication, which is also now known as computer science. It has nothing to do with the old economics. So the new economics, which is the economics of information, instead of it becoming the economic of equilibrium, for those of you who have studied mathematics, economics, you know, economists of the old economics are always seeking to find equilibrium. Now, and they want everything to be lined up, everything has to balance like a balance sheet. The old economics of equilibrium. Today, we have new economics, which is an overthrow of the economic of equilibrium, because there's nothing equilibrium in individuals when they're scattered. If you reach down to the individuals in the community, you are not talking about the equilibrium, because nobody is equal to the other. Nobody is the same as the other person, as an individual. But if each person has got a cell phone, then you're saying these different individuals, then you have to figure out how to comprehend them. That's what I talked about earlier, about comprehending. How do you comprehend that level of diversity? That level of diversity at the very, very, you could say granular level, at the very nitty-gritty level, at the individual level, that level of diversity is known as randomness, because the individuals will act randomly. See? So that understanding, comprehending that randomness, you're only able to understand it by the science of disequilibrium, which is known as the science of randomness. Randomness is a science of information. Information science. Information is random. Nobody generates the same information as the other person. And so because of all kinds of information, what the mathematic theory of communication did was to help us capture the information and encode it so that now we can explain it. That's what's called computer science. So what do we use to leverage individuals in a community? Has to answer this question for you, Damien. What we use to leverage individuals in the community is information science. We cannot leverage the individuals in the community with economic science, the old way. But information science is what is the top science today. So, and I would like us to follow the things that you have observed in Kenya during the finance bill, how the information science have leveraged communities, individuals in the community, to bring about massive change in terms of to reject the tradition, a finance bill that is built on the old mathematics. This is a statement of saying, we are out there. Forget you guys, you're very, very old. You are relying on mathematics of 14th century, 600 BC, arithmetic, algebra. No. The information science in common. is very information science, totally incongruent with what? With the old economic science. It doesn't fit. So how do we now leverage that to reach the communities with our needs assessment? If we now leverage information science, you can see, and this is what Mohammed has told us, communication. That's what it's about. Communicating with the people in a very decentralized way. That sense of randomness, information science, is what gives us decentralization. It's called DeFi. So we are talking about quadratic funding on information science. So we can use the same mathematics that were in old algebra, but apply to information science to create quadratic funding mechanism, which is now based on that, because everybody has got a cell phone. And what Mohammed has told us, that you make a user-friendly platform, which is what we are going to do. In this month of August, we are going to work very hard to really make a user-friendly platform that is accessible on the mobile phone, such that everyone, anyone, anywhere can contribute a little bit of money to fund a particular project. The particular project, we shall define them. So because anyone, anywhere can participate, because everybody has got a cell phone, anyone who has a cell phone, everyone. We're not talking about smartphone alone. We're also talking about the traditional, the old phone, the Mlika music. It's called kabambe in English, Swahili English, kabambe. Yeah, that phone, people have made a wallet that's accessible on Kabambe, a blockchain wallet that, say, like an M-Pesa wallet, which you can access with Kabambe. Then you have a blockchain wallet that you can access Actuate token, the Kabambe. On a Kabambe, you can get Actuate token. So that's how you leverage the technology, the information platform that is on the cell phone, that is in the pocket of individuals in every family in a nation. That's where we get the community. Now, so the question is, when you want to leverage those people, you are leveraging them to do what? So this is what it talks about the project itself composition, that we said that we're talking about fundraising so people can contribute money to matters that bother them, things that matter to them, things to contribute money to projects that solve their own problems, to solve their basic needs, the real needs of the people. That's what they want to do. So to get that point, we have to work with the people to find out what do they need. And let me tell you, finding out what people need in this new economy, information economy, is not as complicated as it was before. Because let me tell you, the old economy, you could not get to know the real needs of people. We relied on data coming out of there to respond to normative needs. But then you still find the needs are not met. But the real needs of people are needs of every individual. And it's possible now for people to express their needs using the social media, or let's say the information system again. So people communicate through multiple social media platforms like WhatsApp, Twitter, LinkedIn, is coordinated. And of course, as we have learned from GitHub, Gitcoin project in GitHub, they did a lot of work on Twitter, particularly Twitter, to get to know the real needs. And of course, in GitHub itself, to raise money for Gitcoin, through Gitcoin, now Gitcoin grants. And so it is possible now to connect with the people directly, individuals directly where they are, so long as they're in the same community, they're doing the same thing. So first of all, then you'll say that to raise money this way, you can identify the real needs of the people, and the real needs, then you have the project to fund what the people themselves come with suggestions or idea of proposals for those, for the real needs. So it doesn't become like a complex project of grant writing where people are trying to write grants to some few people who are very, very benevolent, but maybe out of hundreds of project proposals, they're going to fund only 2. But this time is many people agreeing that this is what we need in our community, and this is what we are going to do to raise money. But how they agree that through their cell phone, So the cell phone itself, just like people have got a cell phone accessing WhatsApp, then you create a platform, a fundraising platform that we announce it on WhatsApp, through WhatsApp, and then everybody in the community who has got access to WhatsApp can see that message. So the words gets out. And I think even going forward, we may not need to have too many community meetings, you're talking about these meetups where people meet and talk. No. In terms of community mobilization, it's going to be on the cell phone alone. Yes. And people now on the cell phone can say, let us meet somewhere. But then the message goes out to a lot of people. But most of the work is going to be happening on the cellular platform, on the mobile phone platform itself. So long as the interface, the user interface is easy enough that people can understand it well, just like M-Pesa in Kenya, then the people are going to engage very, very easily. So Damien, let me ask you a question. In TZ, the people using M-Pesa in TZ? Hello, Damien? Daniel Shipawa. We can't hear you. So, I don't know. Damien, we can't hear your voice. Maybe you unmute yourself.
Hello, doctor.
Yes. Now, there you can hear you. There you are.
Thank you very much for deepest explanations. I have understood. Thank you very much, doctor.
Okay. I think he's on the street. I was asking about M-Pesa. Okay. So the leverage point is technology like M-Pesa, which is we are saying that we move to Web3. And I think the final thing I want to say about this, give me an example of what you have seen with the Gen Z movement in Kenya. That Gen Z movement is leaderless at all. There's no leader because it's random. It's not leaderless. People are not understanding it. It's not leaderlessness. It is randomness. The leaders are there, but they are random. They emerging at a random pace. But the emergence is so high, so frequency, you cannot identify if any one single leader. So the people of the old economy who thinks that you need a leader like what Baba, there is no such a person. So it's not leaderless. The Gen Z movement in Kenya is highly led, has got leadership. What do they think? What do they think brought up all that stuff? It's not lack of leader, it's not absence of leader. That is distributed leadership. It's called decentralized leadership. So it's not leaderless, it's that leadership is decentralized. Oh my goodness. Can you see people? They don't understand it. They say, okay, the movement is leaderless. Oh no, the movement is not leaderless. The leadership in the movement is decentralized. So you cannot capture one leader and throw him in jail and say, forget about this leader. No, you can't do that because leadership is decentralized. Now that is the flavor of decentralization. I hope you guys are grasping. Is the flavor of decentralization. Imagine when decentralized finance blossoms or catches fire and just grows like wildfire. It's not going to be leaderless. it is gonna be decentralized. So what goes on Twitter Spaces is not leaderless. There's a lot of leadership there. But it's a science. I just want you to understand this so that you get it right in your core. It's a science that acknowledges leadership in every individual. You as an individual, wherever you are a leader. A leader is not those guys who call themselves Mkubwa and they have 2 flags on their motor vehicles, you see, and they have chase cars in front of them. No, the leader is you. Do not let anyone tell you that you are leaderless because you have got the leader within you. So the leadership is decentralized. And as I say, there is no time in history of mankind that such a thing has happened, where information, which itself is random, obeys the law of entropy, the second law of thermodynamics, which is entropy itself. Entropy is the science of randomness. So leaders are randomly distributed and they are likely to emerge anywhere, anytime. So you cannot capture them, you cannot hold them and say this is the leader because another leader is going to pop up within a few seconds. That's that leader you thought you captured. So it's decentralized. It's not leaderless, it's a decentralized system. And this is what you are talking about. Now, what has happened is called decentralized information, Web 3, Web 2. That is Web 2, the internet of creators. So you understand this very, very well so that nobody throws you stories out there. The internet of creators is called Web 2, the second generation web. Second generation web is what has happened in Kenya, manifested. Now, here today, we are talking about the third generation web, Web 3, which is the internet of owners economy, owners internet, ownership. That the leaderlessness that they're talking about is leadership in ownership. Leadership in ownership, that is what the blockchain economy is, an economy of owners. These are owners as individuals, rather than owners becoming a very few rich guys, and then it's up to them to decide how they are going to be distributing the money with what the economists call the trickle-down effects. How misguided is that effect? Trickle-down effect. It's not trickle-down, is that it's already in, instead of trickling it down from the top. See? So it's not even bottom-up, it's horizontal. They're growing up together, all of us. So it's not leaderless. It's that leadership is distributed, decentralized leadership, which is taking place spontaneously and occurring instantly everywhere. So, and that is very, very uncomfortable for a lot of people in the traditional finance system, what they say the traditional system, who do not comprehend the new theory of mathematics that it is in play. And let me tell you what is quite disturbing. This mathematical theory of communication has been at play since 1948, when Shannon explained it to us. So for all of you, go to Google and type mathematical theory of communication. So I think Linda, you can do that and post to the group. Mathematical theory of communication is a paper written by Claude Elwood Shannon, 1948. Mathematics theory of communication, so that everybody gets to know what is happening. You share that paper, then people can read it on their own so they can comprehend. You see, this economics that is used to build what we have today, it was written way back in 1776. 1776 by Adam Smith in his book, his big volume. He wrote a big volume book called Inquiry into the Wealth of Nations, 1776. On Inquiry into the Wealth of Nations, way back 1776. That is the economy on the theory on which we are founding our nations, 1776. And that's why people who are on that theoretical foundation, they have a very hard time comprehending the 1948 work by Claude L. Shannon on mathematical theory of communication, which is the new math, the new economy. And you see, it has taken several decades, maybe almost 80 years, is it 80 or so, for us to get there, for that to come to blossom, to start bearing fruits. And so that is what is going on, and it's here with us. And we're living at it's very exciting times where we're in full scale transition from the material science, from material science, the science of gold and copper and stuff like that, to information science, the science of knowledge and consciousness, what's going on in your mind. See, that is the transition we have. It's like something else is being born. The transition from material science into information science. That transition, of course, is coming with great resistance from materialists, material people who like to colonize others so that they can steal their materials, material resources. You see, when it comes to information, you cannot steal it. You cannot steal information because information is light. It's like light. It's like you cannot steal light. Where are you going to steal light and hide it when it's only the light? Anyway, that is the story. So, and I'm telling you, because this is the science of light, information is science of light. And light shines on everybody. That is the tool of engagement. And that light comes to you in form of a mobile phone that is accessible to every individual human being. The worst thing they can do, the materialists could do, is to shut down the information superhighway. Yeah, can they do that? Well, that's a conversation for another day, but I do not think so. Because the cat is out of the bag. Try to capture the cat and put it back in the bag. Or the genie is out of the bag. Well, thank you so much, Linda. Back to you. But I think this is a fascinating conversation. And we're going to use it very well. And so what we need to do is build a platform which you're going to be working on in the next month. Build a platform that's going to give people access to this quadratic funding right in their own pocket. Thank you. Back, Linda.
Thank you, Doc, for those insights, and I shall share the article with the group later on. So if anyone has any question, this is the time to ask. And as we await questions, I would invite Augustine to give summit announcements. So welcome, Augustine.
Hi, good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today again, this Monday, for Environmental Health by Blockchain and one session. And thank you so much, Mohammed. Thank you so much, Linda, for organizing this, and thank you so much, Doc, for always shedding light and making things clear for all of us. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would love to just say I don't have to talk more about the summit today. I just want to say that when we are starting the journey of inviting sponsors and speakers, we assigned every Actuate team lead some people to work. Every first had some people. And Linda had some people, Actuate Nation members. And I think we understand that maybe people get held up. But I just want to tell you this evening that Linda has been, working. She has worked to invite speakers. When you, let me just share the screen. Mm, Okay, so just a minute. So I hope Linda, you can see my screen.
Yes, yes, we can.
So in speakers list session, and I'm starting from bottom. When you look at Down to Glow International Limited, what they do is they promote and deliver ethical circularity solutions for plastic recycling in Kenya. This one, I think, this Linda. Center for Environment and Energy Development, a solution-driven organization working towards inspiring people to take action to protect our environment. This is an environment lead Baker who reached out to them. We have climate change by Osiri Nyatichi, climate change activist. This Linda. We go to ESAC, sustainability consultant and eco-ballion, that is Linda. We have Golda Mukami, energy green hydrogen event organizer. That's environment people. We have agriculture Africana Jerome. Yeah, and that's your team lead. We have yes, we have UNEP. Okay, Sani Ibrahim, founder of Youth for Climate Change Action, this environmental science again. Cliff Donley, Youth Climate Policy Advisor. Over 40 people. Okay, so what am I saying? It's all about concentration. It's all about kuamua, and understanding the details and paying attention. These people are there, they're just waiting for such opportunities. And this boost your ladder. This initiative of you moving out and inviting these people place you a greater place. Not only in Actuate Nation fraternity, but also as far as humanity is concerned and the global health is concerned. So let's support her. She's really doing the job, and you can see that it's possible. It's all about attention and focusing. So I would just love to say, Linda, you are doing great job. Maybe you can tell us if you had some people you're working with, so that we can also commend them for the great work. But that's so good. And I would love the team members for environmental health to always support her, please. You can invite, the list is not exhausted. Action Nation is deep because blockchain is deep. We don't get exhausted. So let's continue working with her and to make this summit successful. So I don't have much to say today. That is it for now. And thank you. Back to you, Linda.
Thank you, Augustine, for those kind words. As he has mentioned, if you are in any organizations that are in the realm of what we are promoting and would love for them to be speakers, please feel free to contact any of us and we shall put them in the program as well. So thank you, Augustine, again for this summit announcements. If there are any questions,
So
please
may I say,
also
may I say
yeah.
what, Linda? First of all, congratulations. You know, for all of you people in environmental faucet, environmental health faucet here, our summit is looking like an environmental summit because of Linda. There's so many people she has invited. Linda, thank you so much. In fact, that's a lot. I think you have you bring to the summit the largest group of people, including people like the Green Belt movement. Can you believe that? So, and the United Nations, so the United Nations Environmental Program, huh? The green energy people. It's already there, say green hydrogen, and ocean studies, climate change. So that is amazing, and we want to create room for environment health program. In fact, I believe we shall have a 4-day workshop on environment. 4-day workshop on environment. That will be a breakout session, a separate room on environment alone, so it's concentrated. And for all of you guys who are in environment and you want to even advance your career in environment, remember, on environment has got 4 things: earth, wind, and fire. Earth, air, wind, and fire. So, and water, of course. Earth, wind, fire, and water. Those are the things that comprise our environment. So, of course, fire is energy. Now, you want to understand that if the summit is going to be successful, we want people in renewable energy. In renewable energy, they can come and exhibit their products like solar panels, solar power, hydro, whatever it is, even the pumps for, the wiring system for solar energy. Hydrogen energy, we have seen that. There's even nuclear energy. And so if you know anyone who's doing those, tell them about the summit. We're going to have a 4-day workshop on environment. Number 2, water. Water is a big deal. Of course, water comes after energy. And we cannot survive without water. In fact, we are 80% water as an individual. Even the Pope himself is 80% water. So that water is very vital to human life. Water is equals to life. And so we want people who do water. There are 3 categories of water. People do 3 types of water projects. First of all, there's the rainwater. So people working on rainwater harvesting, which includes water that comes from the roof, and then it goes into tanks. So people making tanks. I know a company in Kenya that makes tanks. They're in the industrial area for helping people to capture. Tell them to come in and show, because there's a lot of people in the communities, in the villages, who do not have a place for receiving the water, and they allow that water to flow all the way down to the river and then to the ocean. So water is a big deal. So that's heavenly water coming from the skies. Then there's the water on the ground, the runoff water, which can be captured by building small dams, or it's got water storage places. So that water can be captured and harvested for using in the dry season. There are people who are building water harvesting system, catching water that is in the runoff to prevent the runoff, and they are there in Kenya already. Not just Kenya, everywhere. But people don't know about them. They need to come to the summit and even exhibit some of that technology they use for digging the water harvesting places. They call them water pans. And they know how to do it so well that a water pan, you can even throw up some fish there. You become a fish garden. So then there is the wind. Wind, of course, wind energy, which we can harvest. And so, like I saw in Gong Hills, they have planted so many windmills, but there's a lot of wind that we are not harvesting. But see, there's one presenter who's going to be talking about wind. But then besides having one presenter, we want to have exhibitors. So you might know people who would like to show things to people who want to consume wind and people who live in very windy places. And I think everywhere in Kenya is windy. You can have a winds. People in Moranga can say, we don't have enough wind. No, that's not true. There are so many hills in Moranga that if you put a windmill on top of one of those hills, you're going to get enough energy. So earth, wind, water, and fire. Fire is energy. Earth. I mean, we talk about water under the earth. Water under the earth is what it's known as boreholes. So there are people who do drilling water, they do boreholes. Let us invite them to the meeting. And they actually, a lot of people don't know that. Many people that think that borehole drilling is a very expensive project. And it's because the people in borehole have not engaged well enough with the community. And so they can only engage the community by coming to a summit like this, exhibiting their technology, and people can see them even talking about it in the environment summit. So, and then the earth has got other things, of course, green things like trees. So that's where green belt movement comes in to talk about the green energy. And I mean, the tree planting around the country, and the work of doing what? Using trees as carbon sink and how you earn money from that. So this is going to be a very fascinating workshop. So what I'm explaining to all of you, first of all, is now how you can get sponsors and exhibitors in your community with people you know. It can help you to advance your own career by doing that, because you're going to get to know a lot of people in this process. And then also make money, because you get 5% of all the money that the sponsors that you have brought in are going to contribute in sponsorship. Okay, so that is and of course, as I have told him, this is it is decentralized leadership. Do not let anyone tell you that you are leaderless. What is that? You are a full leader by yourself. Leading yourself is leading from the periphery, from yourself. That lead yourself to make money on yourself. That's what decentralized finance is all about. Okay, so this is why we are talking about this, because in its traditional way, we wouldn't be asking people in Actuate Nation to participate in looking for sponsors, because we say we can do it, but then they can just come and pay money. But instead of doing that, we distribute in the spirit of information theory of communication, information science, where leadership is distributed. It's not leaderless. Leadership is decentralized. All right. Okay. Well, that's what I wanted to add there. Thank you so much, Linda. Fascinating leadership from you.
Thank you very much, Doc. So if anyone doesn't have any questions, I would like to post the form in the chat room, in the chat box. And I shall be giving 5 minutes, meaning by 9:30, you should have already filled out the form.
All right.
And it has been shared. I would like to thank everyone for their dedication, and once again for joining our classes week by week and learning with us for this past couple of months. So to emphasize what has been taught today, we have covered topics on engaging community members for quadratic funding. And we have seen the importance of that and how to engage community members. So as we have said, if anyone has any questions, you can please reach out. And join us again next week for our lessons, when we shall be presenting our new topic, and which would be, I'll update the new topic in the group. So thank you for everyone for joining.
Thank you. Have a good week.
All right. Likewise.